Hi, I'm Luke,
I'm Kelsey.
and this is our data ethics final project.
Okay, before we move into our main topic, we wanted to cover what does dealing with data ethically mean? That would mean, according to Michael J. Quinn's textbook, respect privacy, ensure accuracy, be transparent, protect data, limit collection, stay accountable, and avoid harm.
It's really important to be ethical. So, and then I kind of wanted to go kind of broader in society and why is ethics important? So I kind of broke it down for each theory. So we all know that Kantianism, it upholds humanity, dignity. So without it, we would justify harm as a part of business. And in a capitalist society, a part of business happens every day, every second. The second one is virtue ethics. That one encourages empathy, accountability, and responsibility. And without it, we normalize carelessness and corporate cruelty. The next one is social contract theory. This one ensures fairness and public consent in tech systems. And without it, trust collapses. Let's say anything, even if you sign a contract, they could basically go against the contract. We get mass disillusionment and digital exploitation. Not a good thing. Next, without it, platforms cause harm at scale, even individual actions seem fine. Active-utilitarianism weighs outcomes of specific decisions. Without it, we ignore consequences, risking irreversible damage. So that's why it's important.
Right. Our next topic is Facebook and the Myanmar. What's the significance of this event, you may ask?
So I think it's really important to look at Facebook's investment all over the globe. This kind of happened in the early 2010s, 2013. To be specific, they launched internet.org, later called Free Basics, which is important because they try to kind of distance themselves from the project. Facebook saw a big opportunity going to third world countries because during this time, as you can see in the graph, they had less, or Myanmar specifically, only had 1 million people in 2013 using the internet. And if you think about it, if you access free internet to people and only make Facebook available to users, what's going to happen? It's just going to get way more users and get revenue from Facebook. And you can see in 2025 that it rose to 35 million, which is insane. And for many Myanmars, Facebook was the internet. There was not other things, and this is like the only internet online experience they had.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Insane. Let's talk about why this was controversial. Some concerns was net neutrality. Free Basics only allowed access to approved sites, which critics said created a walled garden that undermined an open internet. Data monopoly. Facebook gained massive user growth and dominance, positioned itself as the gateway to the internet. Harm amplification. In places like Myanmar, misinformation and hate speech run rapid throughout Facebook.
And we even had net neutrality like issues here in America with President Trump in the 2016. His chairman for the FCC tried to get it away, which is like could be really concerning because what we were seeing in Myanmar could happen in the United States if net neutrality or monopolies continued.
Right. Well, it's 2025. How is Facebook doing? As of 2025, around 35.9% of Myanmar's population, around 20.36 million people, use Facebook. While Facebook doesn't disclose specifics in revenue, they announced in 2020 they have made $86 billion in Facebook's global revenue.
And then this kind of brings us to the effects in Myanmar society. So the first one is radicalization through algorithmic amplification. Facebook's algorithms prioritized high engagement content, which means like if you're often hating on someone, hitting hate speech, you're always going to be replying to it, sharing it with your friends, amplifying the hate. And Facebook's algorithm loves that because that will mean more revenue for them.
Engagement.
And then for the second one, digital literacy gap, it increased harm on the platform. Many, like I said before, many people, this is their first access to the internet. So it became rapid through misinformation, and we'll see why in a second. The platform was also a tool for authoritative regimes, so the government did try to promote hate on the platform just to like get a certain type of people out. And then it was a long erosion of trust and stability from Facebook, because if they could be doing this in a country, like a third world country, could they do this to us?
Right. Should we blame Facebook for this? Is Facebook at fault? Facebook admitted it had only had one moderator that spoke Burmese in 2018. They turned a blind eye until it was too late, from the former Facebook employee. Internal reports flagged the risk of real-world violence years before 2017. Critics say Facebook knew but chose profit over safety.
Thumbs down. And so is what Facebook is doing ethical? Good question is no. So according to all these theories, we'll start with virtue ethics. It is not accepting of Facebook because Facebook's delay in addressing hate speech shows a lack of virtue. For Kantianism, Facebook allowed harm while continuing to profit, violating its duty to protect users and treating people as engagement data. We are people with feelings.
That part.
Social contract theory, also not accepting. Citizens did not consent to being manipulated or endangered. If they knew the risks, they probably wouldn't be on Facebook. For rule utilitarianism, it is not accepting. It's a rule allowing platforms to ignore content moderation that causes long-term harm. For act-utilitarianism, it is not accepting because the inaction led to genocide, linked hate speech, displacement, and death. Far more harm than good, if you ask me. Right. Game time! Welcome to your hosts, Luke and Kelsey. We're gonna run it back for this game. We're playing Real or Fake.
Right.
Kel's guess and your guess, Michelle.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Real.
Fake.
Oh.
Okay, ready? Again. 5, 4, 3, 2. You got it?
Fake.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Fake. The ball.
1.
It's the hair.
Yeah.
Yo.
I got that.
Yo.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Real.
Fake.
What?
Yeah. Isn't it crazy?
Oh my
It's getting so real. I'm so dangerous at this point.
Okay, that's enough. Lock
Right,
back
we need
in,
to
Michelle. Lock back in. Lock
Let's
in.
go. Come on.
I am here to instruct. Okay, so our next big topic is the use of AI in war.
AI intelligence is no longer just analyzing surveillance data. It's being embedded into core military decision making. From autonomous drones to missile systems, AI is accelerating the speed and scope of modern warfare.
With the recent introduction of AI, we all know that the DoD and the military complex, we're going to find it in war.
Right.
And surprisingly, AI is increasingly, you need it in modern warfare. If you don't have it, your country's going to be left behind.
Right.
I'll try to explain this the best I can. I wish Brad was here, but I think I'll hold myself. So the first is surveillance and intelligence analysis. With AI, it uses massive quantities of satellite imagery, intercepted signals, and drone footage, and it can process through it 1,000 times faster than humans.
Oh my God.
So usually in the military, there's like hundreds of people that analyze satellite imagery at like different bases and all over the world. Now it's going to be computers doing that, which makes the process way more efficient. And this also comes with target identification and prioritization. Algorithms can match faces, vehicles, or even heat signatures to preloaded databases, and this could help rank and recommend targets based on patterns like threat likelihood. And like targets, I mean like potential like bombing. You could like a bombing site you could do. And even with autonomous and semi-autonomous weapons, this has become increasingly popular in the Ukrainian war with drones. Drones has played a big factor in warfare these days. Autonomous weapons, you don't have to worry about the other side jamming it with the frequency, because a lot of the issues in the Ukrainian war is that people are jamming the frequencies of the drones.
Right.
So they're completely autonomous, they can act by themselves. And even with logistics and mission planning, AI is used to simulate scenarios and optimize strategies. Example of this is deciding on a route a convoy should take based on terrain, enemy activity, and weather. So it can be way more accurate than humans are.
All right. We can talk about AI-assisted targeting in Gaza.
It's been reported that Israel uses AI to do targeting systems in the Gaza Strip, and they actually use 2 different ones. So the first one I will be talking about is Lavender. And Lavender is pretty unique because this is one of the first times it's been documented that a government is using AI to make targets that often kill civilians. So Lavender is an AI program developed to analyze vast data sets, including social media activity, phone records, and surveillance footage, to identify individuals allegedly associated with Hamas or Islamic Jihad.
Okay.
Reportedly, it generated a list of approximately 37,000 potential targets during a 6-month conflict period, and that was from The Guardian. And the second one is called The Gospel. It's an AI-driven system designed to automate the target selection process by providing recommendations to human analysts. It's capable of rapidly generating hundreds of targets, facilitating a high volume of airstrikes, and critics argue that the speed and scale of targeting may compromise oversight.
Oh my god, wow.
Which is like very beneficial in wartime. A lot of
Yeah.
governments spend so much time on intelligence,
Yeah.
and crazy how AI could decide humans' fate.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some ethical and humanitarian concerns.
Mm-hmm. Which include civilian casualties. Over 32,000 Palestinians were killed in a 6-month period. Horrible. Accountability and oversight, and international response.
Okay, and then me and Kelsey flipped a coin, and I got against AI, and he got for AI. So we're gonna do a role play.
Right. All right. So 4, we have efficiency and speed. AI processes data faster than humans, allowing for rapid responses in dynamic battlefields. This can also eliminate threats before they act. All right. Our next one is reduced human error. AI doesn't fatigue, panic, or make emotional decisions. Potential for precision strikes with fewer friendly fire incidents. Data integration. AI can analyze vast intel sources simultaneously, i.e. signals, movement, and past behavior. This helps detect patterns humans might miss. And finally, human on the loop safety. Most systems still require a human sign-off, meaning machines assist, not fully decide.
Well, I kind of have a rebuttal for Kelsey.
Ooh.
What do you say that AI cannot understand context, empathy, proportionality, critical elements, and moral ethics? What do you say without empathy, AI could kill thousands of people? What's your comeback to that?
Well, one can make the argument that AI is more objective versus maybe a human perspective, which is very emotional and acts kind of rashly.
Yeah, you got me on that one. You sold me with that. I have a couple more questions interrogating you now. If AI causes wrongful death, who is to blame? The programmer, the general, the machine, Michelle?
The programmer. Because if they are making this powerful program, they should be prepared for the consequences that might happen with it.
I agree. And with black box decision making, many AI models are non-transparent, so it may be impossible to know why a target was chosen. And maybe like an improvement of this is like the military could come out and say whether AI targets, so that could be more like ethically, in a sense, because you know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And the last one is risk of over-reliance. So speed could lead to overuse. Military leaders might become too reliant on automated systems for mass targeting, and they might just get lazy with checking all the sites.
Right. So virtue ethics, it's not accepting. Delegating life and death decisions to machines lacks empathy and moral courage. Promotes cold efficiency over compassionate discernment. Kantianism is also not accepting. Killing must never treat people as mere means. AI targeting lacks moral reasoning and cannot respect human dignity. Using probabilistic logic to kill violates categorical imperatives. As well as social contract theory is also not accepting. Democratic societies likely wouldn't agree to make AI targeted decisions in secret. This also fails to provide transparency or public oversight. Rule utilitarianism is also not accepting in its current form. The rule of using AI for mass targeting leads to disproportionate harm. High civilian casualties, example being 32,000 deaths, indicate a rule that fails to maximize long-term good. Act utilitarianism, mixed/context dependent. If AI saves lives by increasing precision in theory, some acts may just be justified. But in practice, Gaza's case led to widespread civilian harm, which most acts likely fail utilitarian metrics.
And thank you for joining our lecture. There will be a test next week on Tuesday, Michelle.
Right.
So giving you a heads up, it's usually a
Study
pop
guide
quiz.
is on
Study guide is on D2L, and I hope you do well. Have a great summer.